Read the Bible with me. How to know when it's time to go. Jacob's been working for Laban for like 20 years now. Laban's sons start talking mess about Jacob, talking about, oh, the only reason he's wealthy is because of our dad. He used all of our dad's livestock in order for him to gain wealth. Now, it's one thing when people be gossiping about you, but it's another thing when people start treating you differently, and that's exactly what Laban started doing to Jacob. He noticed that Laban started acting kind of funny. Now, we can't just act on feelings, but God spoke to Jacob and said, yeah, he is acting funny towards you. He has never been fair. I've always taken care of you, and yes, it's time to go. Go back to your birthplace, and I'll be with you. That's when we know it's time to go, when God says so. So Jacob had a conversation with his wives, Rachel and Leah, and he said, you know, your daddy has never really treated me right. He keeps changing my wages. He's changed it like 10 times. Now your own brothers is planting some stuff in his head, making him think that I done got rich because of him. And I've been working my butt off day in, day out, in the weather, no matter what. What y'all think about leaving and going back to my hometown? Rachel and Leah was like, you know what? He only cared about the money that he got by selling us, and he done spent that already. So I say we go. So Jacob packs up his wives, his kids, and put them on camels and heads home. But as they're packing, and rightfully so, Leah and Rachel feel some type of way, like maybe some stuff belonged to them since they daddy done sold them and made all of the money that he can make. Rachel steals her father's gods, his idols that he had in the house, and she decides to take that with her. 3 days later, Laban finds out that Jacob done skipped town with his daughters and his grandchildren, and he gathers some family members, some relatives. They head out to catch up with him. But before he caught him, he had a dream by our God, and God told him, you better be careful with Jacob. Whether you do evil or bad, be careful. I love how God sticks up for his people. So Laban catches up with him, and he starts going off like, how you gonna take my daughters and my grandchildren, and you don't even let me get to throw y'all a party or tell them goodbye or get them a kiss or anything? Dude, that is swag. Do you know what I could do to you right now? You can get murked for something like that. You could have at least told me, and you lucky. God gave me a dream, and he said to be careful with you. Other than that, I would have been at you. Not only that, y'all stole some stuff out of my house. I want my stuff back. So Jacob's like, dude, we ain't take nothing from you. Everything that I have, I've earned. You gave me all of the spotted, speckled, whatever. That's all you see around here. And if anybody took anything of yours, that person dies. So Laban ramshackled the whole place, just started turning up tents and stuff, looking in Rachel's tent, looking in Leah's tent, looking all over for his gods and his stuff that's missing, and he found nothing. Now he came close because when he got to Rachel was sitting on the camel, and she said, Father, no disrespect, but I'm on my period, so I can't come down to greet you. So that was the only place he didn't check, but that's where Rachel hid little statue figurine god things. It was under the camel's cushion. Now it's Jacob's turn, and he cuts up. He get in on Laban. Dude, I done worked for you for all these years. You done changed my wages 10 times. You done tricked me. You made me marry the oldest daughter when I only wanted the youngest. I've done more than enough for you. Even when animals ate the cattle, I never gave you roadkill. Matter of fact, I would have paid for it. Matter of fact, you made me pay for it, whether it was my fault or not. I don't owe you nothing. Everything that I have is rightfully mine, including my wives and my babies. Now this is crazy how Laban even thought that his daughters still belonged to him when he gave them away in marriage. And that's why biblically, when a husband finds a wife, they become one, they leave their parents. Now any other religion, whatever religion Laban believed in, maybe that wasn't clear, but them daughters ain't your daughters no more. Those are Jacob's wives. And that's why it's important for you to be equally yoked with your spouse so that y'all agree on the same core values. That type of stuff is important. All right, so after they stop going off on each other, they make an agreement. They build a pillar and they call it Witness Monument or Watchtower. And from there on, they agree that they not gonna hurt each other, even when they're outside of each other's view. That God can see everything and let that person be cursed by God if they break their agreement. So the next morning, Laban kisses his daughters and his grandkids. He blesses them and he sends them off on their way. I think at some point in every person's life, even dealing with family, we can get into altercations, and when you're chosen, doesn't necessarily mean that people are going to treat you fair. But in this story, we see how that no matter how bad Laban treated him, God treated him better. He became wealthier no matter how many times Laban changed his wages. And when it was time to go, he matched his feelings with obedience of God. And that's how he knew when it was time to go. And so if you're in an unfair situation, the most important thing is for you to pray about if it's time to go.